Waiting is one of the hardest parts of faith, not because it is complicated, but because it asks us to remain still when everything inside us wants movement. Most people do not struggle with believing in God. They struggle with trusting God's timing. Waiting feels uncomfortable because it removes our sense of control. When we wait, we are forced to acknowledge that some things are beyond our ability to fix or force. Scripture never presents waiting as passive. Waiting on God is an active posture of trust, hope, and surrender. Isaiah tells us that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength, not those who rush ahead, not those who force outcomes, those who wait. Waiting often exposes what we value most. It reveals our impatience, our fear of being forgotten, and our desire for certainty. Many people assume that waiting means God is withholding something, but Scripture shows us that waiting is often preparation, not punishment. In seasons of waiting, God works beneath the surface. Roots are forming before fruit appears. Waiting stretches faith beyond emotion. It teaches us to trust God without constant reassurance. The Bible is filled with people who waited longer than they expected. Abraham waited for a promise. Joseph waited in prison. David waited for the throne. Waiting does not mean inactivity. It means remaining faithful while God works in ways we cannot yet see. Psalm 27 tells us to wait for the Lord and be strong. Strength in waiting is not loud. It is quiet endurance. One of the reasons waiting is so difficult is because our culture teaches us that delay equals failure. Scripture teaches us that delay can equal development. Waiting humbles us. It reminds us that we are not in control, but we are deeply cared for. In waiting seasons, prayer often becomes simpler. Not asking for outcomes, but asking for peace. Lamentations reminds us that the Lord is good to those who wait for Him. Waiting positions us to experience God's goodness more deeply. Sometimes God delays answers not because He is distant, but because He is protecting us from outcomes we are not ready to carry. Waiting shapes our character more than instant answers ever could. Faith that is rushed often lacks depth. Faith that has waited carries resilience. Waiting does not mean God is slow. It means God is intentional. In the waiting, God teaches us to listen instead of rush, to trust instead of control. There will be moments when waiting feels lonely, when prayers feel unheard, when progress feels invisible. But even in those moments, God is present, working quietly, preparing carefully. Waiting teaches us that faith is not built on outcomes, but on relationship. The hardest part of waiting is not time. It is uncertainty. Yet uncertainty is where faith grows strongest. When we wait, we learn to trust God with what we cannot predict. Waiting transforms our desires. It aligns our hearts with God's will. What feels like delay is often divine timing unfolding.